Sunday, everybody. I am very glad that you could be here with me today. It took me a minute to get things figured out this morning, but we've got it figured out. With the holidays right on top of us. I mean, we just did Canadian Thanksgiving. Now we've got Halloween coming up 2 days from now, and then we've got American Thanksgiving, and we've got the Christmas parties and get-togethers, and then Christmas itself. And depending on whose house you're in, maybe Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It's just a whole collage of holidays. And so appetizers. If you're having people in your home and you want to do something that is not going to sidetrack your keto journey or your carnivore journey, we're going to do a couple of things today. And in order to do a couple of things, I have to actually have all of the things. And it looks like I've run out of one of the things, so it's all good. Anyway, so what we are doing today is an omelet roll-up appetizer. It's going to be great. You're going to love this. Okay, so you need 3 eggs. And if you haven't been here with me before, say hi. I love it when people say hi and let me know that they've joined me. And if this is something that will help you or has helped you in the past, I love hearing about it. So let's change this up so you can see what we're doing. Here we go. Okay, so a small bowl, and we're going to use 3 eggs. And I'm going to just move this over here. Crack your eggs into a different bowl. It gives you much more of an opportunity to get any eggshells out that may have fallen in there. And I tell people that all the time. And yet, even though I say it all the time, the other day, a week or so ago, I was making some keto bread for my husband to take to work with him. And I just cracked the eggs in the bowl, and when I was mixing it up, getting ready to start cooking it, I noticed a big chunk of eggshell. It wasn't even a little chunk of eggshell, it was a big chunk of eggshell. So, doesn't matter how careful you think you are. Good morning, Mom. You can always make a mistake unless you're perfect, in which case I don't think we have a whole lot left to talk about because I'm never going to be perfect. Okay, 3 large eggs, and we'll just set this aside. And to these 3 large eggs, we're going to add just a wee bit of TSL organic seasoned salt. You can add more on the egg if you want. And about 2 tablespoons-ish, and this is an ish thing, of heavy whipping cream. And if you have an egg whisk, that's great. If you don't, just use a ordinary whisk or a fork or whatever it is you have. And while I'm whipping that up, we are going to figure out that my burner is not plugged in. This is going to be one of those days, I suspect. I did, however, remember to get some other stuff ready. There we go. Okay. Now we're just going to turn this on 2 and get it to start heating up while we whip this up. Now you can add things to this if you like. Do you have some fresh basil, fresh parsley, fresh rosemary? Oh, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? So I am just repotting my herbs so that they can spend the winter in the house with me, hopefully. We'll see how that works. Okay, we'll take this out of here. Now we're just letting this heat up a wee bit, and about a tablespoon of butter, 15 milliliters of butter. It's a good thing we're done with that whisk because I just dropped it on the floor. And once this butter is melted, we're going to pour these eggs in here. And it takes a minute. I should have had this heating up a little bit earlier. Let's heat it up a little faster. So we don't want these eggs to brown, because if they brown when you put them in the pan for this, they're very possibly going to have crispy bits. And we don't want crispy bits. Okay, there you can see it starting to bubble in the center. Now, when you're doing 3 eggs all at the same time, it is important that you have a large pan. If you have a small pan and you want to do smaller ones, you can do 1 or 2 eggs at a time. If you want to do a 3-egg omelet, use a large pan, because otherwise it doesn't get thin enough. It makes it really, really hard to flip if you're going to flip it. Okay, so this is about as hot as we need it to be right now. You can see the butter is starting to bubble. I want that butter hot, but I don't want it frying. I don't want brown butter for this. And so we are just going to pour this in. Now, do you keep herbs growing in your house over the winter? I have tried other times, and last year I was so proud of myself. I had this beautiful, beautiful rosemary plant, and I learned a lot about having rosemary in the house over the winter. Hi, Dell. And this year I am hoping that I'm going to have a little more success with my herb garden. So we'll see. I've got all kinds of things coming in. Thanks to my wonderful husband, I have celery and parsley and what else do I have? Rosemary, definitely. Okay, now we are just going to let this cook until it starts to set up a little bit. And one of the things that you can do is, I know this looks like I'm scrambling it, but I'm really not. So we're just getting things moved around so that this is going to cook a little more thoroughly, a little more quickly. And then mash this down, if I can get the raw part over here. And I think I might have let it cook a little too much. Oh well. Well, we are going to do this regardless. Now, if you have to start over again or use it for breakfast instead of a ham roll-up, I guess that's okay too. If you're going to scramble this so that it cooks a little faster, you have to do it right when you put it in there. And turning the burner down, which I did not do, is helpful too. But you can see that doing it this way, we're not going to have to flip this, because it is cooking all the way through. And we're just going to let that go for a minute. Now, when this comes out of here not looking exactly the way that I wanted it to, but it is what it is. Should we start again? I could have scrambled eggs for breakfast. It would only take a second to start again. I don't know. What do you think, guys? One way or the other. Dell isn't home today, so I'm doing this one by myself anyway. The inside of it doesn't really matter so much how it looks. It's more the outside that is going to have an effect. So we'll see what this looks like. And we're just going to brush a little bit of this egg over, fill in a bit of these gaps. Now, while that's cooking, 3 eggs and 40 to 45 grams of grated cheese. And this is marble cheese. And we're just going to put that on there. Now, we're not wanting to melt this. This isn't an ordinary omelet. And this is already cooked through. And remember, you're going to have a little bit of carryover cooking. And so now we are just going to take this loosen the edges a little bit. Turn this off. Loosen the edges a bit. You know, Sunday mornings require coffee. Okay. Let's see if we can't get this out in one great big piece, which was the idea. Okay. I am not terribly confident that this is going to work for me. I should have just left well enough alone when I had the burner turned up as high as I did. Okay, maybe. There we go. Oh, well, the cheese is a little melty, but we have a nice thin omelette that has already turned into an omelette roll-up, even though we haven't done that part of it yet. And it is definitely not going to come apart. And that is just as easy as that is. So, here we are with actually quite a lovely omelette. So we're just going to keep going, and we are going to make this an omelette instead of an omelette roll-up. And while we're doing that, we are just going to whip up a couple more eggs. And we'll try this on the right temperature. What do you think? Okay, so back we go with our egg dish. I'm going to need a new egg whisk because I dropped mine on the floor. Okay. Oh my, oh my. And that is one. Now the nice thing about these is they're going to be nice and flavorful. So you can just put these in the microwave on. Don't put them in on reheat. Put them in on defrost. Defrost heats things more gently without cooking it. That's the entire idea behind defrost. Okay, there is that done. And we will get that out of the way one more time, a little more butter. Now this pan is already hot. So this time I know I'm going to be busy because I'm going to do something with this one. So I am just going to put this in here, let it melt, and I'll give this a good stir right when I put it in. Yeah, I don't think, whoever this is on Twitch, that we really need to be worried about that so much. Okay, now let's try this one more time. We've got a little bit of butter in here. And we are going to add a wee bit of TSL organic seasoned salt. We might need a little bit more. So we'll do this all over again. And just a little dab of cream. And look at that, even though I did this in a different bowl, I just spotted a piece of eggshell in there. So that was a good catch. Okay, a little dab will do ya. Who remembers what that's from? Does anybody remember? I said that to somebody the other day and they had no idea what I was talking about. Okay, we'll get this mixed up, beat up. What kind of spices do you like in your omelet? Do you spice your omelet? No, I spice everything. Bro cream, nicely done, Mom. Okay, there. I'm not dropping that one on the floor, hopefully. And we are just going to mix this a little bit at a time as it's going in the pan, so that it is not too cooked. And that is going to be absolutely perfect. Now you can see if we do it when we're going in the pan, we have raw egg that is filling in those holes, and this is going to cook much more quickly. Okay, now we're just going to keep that going. And you can see that it's kind of scrambly in the middle, but it's going to look like a beautiful omelet on the bottom. And I'm just going to turn that down a wee bit. And just to make things go a little bit faster, we're going to throw a lid on there. Now, as far as this one goes, because we still have this one, couple of slices of ham, and if it had come out of the pan properly, the ham would have been on it in the pan, and that would have been lovely. Now we are just going to set this aside. Because we are going to need room for our omelet roll-up that we're actually going to make happen with this one, I hope. Everybody say a little techno prayer for me so that this works. Okay, well, there is my lukewarm breakfast later. So we'll deal with that a little later on. Okay, now, the other thing that we do not have, because I had it all put away, is the cheese. Okay, so this is almost, but you can see that it is cooking beautifully. We're going to have a nice omelet. We're just going to take this lid off and loosen these edges a little bit. Now once this is all done omeleting, that's a word now, you can add that to your TSL dictionary. This one is much more lovely. It's funny how things work out better if you do them in the right order. Okay, now you can use sliced cheese, but not cheese slices. Please, not cheese slices. If you're using a name brand cheese slice that is not a hard cheese, you are getting a ton of carbs. They are just sugar and sugar and sugar on sugar. So please don't. Okay, we're just going to set that right there. And now we have this beautiful omelet that is hopefully going to come out of the pan just as easily as it went in. Ha ha ha. Let's see if it'll happen with this one this time. And here we are. Look at that. Turn that off. Now this is what we were trying to accomplish last time. Didn't work out so well. Now, apparently, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, now let's do this the way it was meant to be done. We're just going to make sure that the cheese is sprinkled evenly on here. And yes, I know I didn't measure this, but in the interest of getting you out of here before noon. Okay, and then we are going to take a few more slices of ham. Now you can chop this up and sprinkle it on as well if you like. Okay. So we have 5 pieces of ham. Okay, now we've taken an omelet and we've added cold cheese and room temperature ham, and now we are just going to roll it very, very gently, because if you've done this properly, your omelet roll-up is going to be, it is going to be very delicate, at the very least until it is cooled off. Now, this obviously is not cooled off, but in the interest of interests, we are going to take a knife and take a look on the inside. Now you can see that you can slice this. You can put this on a toothpick if you want. You can add a little bit of this is why you need to let it cool off. Okay, this one we're leaving on the knife since it's not cool. So they're a little bit persnickety and finicky, and it's better if you leave the whole egg on there. But look at how pretty that is. And you can add whatever seasoning you want. Taco seasoning, that might be really good. Fried chicken seasoning, give it a try. Why not? You don't have to use ham. If you are using, now this is a deli ham. Make sure that you are checking the deli ham for sugar. If it's got sugar in it, please continue. Now this is cooled off a little bit, and look at how much it's firmed up already. And so shall we do a taste test? I'm thinking we shall. Okay. That is absolutely lovely. And realistically, guys, if you're making this and something falls apart, then you get to do a taste test. That's quality control, right? Okay. We are at the bottom of the hour again, and I am, as always, so grateful that you chose to spend some of your Sunday morning with me. Last week, actually the last couple of weeks, I've been away. My husband and I were working on a project outside, and partway through that project I took a tumble, and I'm good though. I am good. And you know, one of the things that I absolutely know for sure is whatever kind of injury you might have, if you're eating right and you're not eating things that cause inflammation, you will heal much more quickly and you won't be as sore. For which I'm very grateful, because I was sore enough that I went and got my ribs x-rayed. So, at any rate, I want you to have an amazing Sunday and an amazing week. I will see you here next Sunday. Please do your very best to be the best version of you that you can be, and reach out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while. It's going to do as much to enrich your life as it will to enrich theirs. So go call somebody and have an amazing day. I will see you next Sunday. And click the things, the likes and the follow and all of the things, that so that we can hang out every Sunday at 10 a.m.